If ever there was an example of why the sport of boxing has so many critics demanding it should be banned, then the tragedy of champion pro boxer Davy Brown is surely it. 2 years ago, he literally ended up in the fight of his life and lost. Dead at 28. Now a coroner is deciding how it came to be that Davy could be beaten to death in a supposedly properly regulated, fully sanctioned international bout without boxing officials stepping in to stop the fight. It's a question his family, most of whom watched him die, desperately need answered.
Wow. It hurts. Is it too heavy? Oh, there we go. How's that? Are you the champion?
It's nearly 2 years since Amy Brown lost her husband Davy.
What about Daddy? What was Daddy?
The champion.
But the outrage she feels about what happened to him hasn't diminished.
Why did this happen? Why am I left here with these two little boys without their father, who loved them so much and was such a good dad?
28-year-old Davy Brown was a talented professional boxer and a devoted husband and father when he died competing in the sport he loved. What happened to him was no accident. He was beaten to death in the boxing ring. As you'll see for yourself, it was entirely avoidable.
We've got a boxer here who's been knocked out, he's not responding, he's totally unconscious.
It was like myself throwing him to a pack of wolves and watching him getting slaughtered. And everyone just standing there watching. That could have stopped that fight. Hey, Davey. Just another day again, mate. Another day where you're not with us.
Davy's dad, David Brown Sr., is tormented by the thought that he could have stopped the fight that killed his son.
I say, I'm sorry, Davey. I'm sorry. I didn't know how hurt you were. I just didn't know, Davey.
Like his elder brother Tommy, young Davy was a standout talent. In a ring built at home, Dad helped hone the skills that would propel both boys to professional boxing careers.
The three of us were like a team, you know, we shared everything together. It was sort of, that's why we were so close.
Davy was on his way to the big time when he faced Filipino fighter Carlo Magali in September 2015. Do you remember the last conversation you had with him before he went into that match?
Yeah, it was pretty casual. My dad took a photo of him holding his belt with Rockland in the kitchen just before he walked out the door.
When Davy Brown entered the ring at this Western Sydney RSL, he and his family had every right to expect that his safety would be paramount. This was an international title event with many experienced boxing officials watching on. A referee, a doctor and 2 inspectors from the government's Combat Sports Authority. Any one of them had the power to stop the fight. It's what those officials failed to do on the night that raises disturbing questions about Davy's death. Davy's family were all there that night. Brother Tommy was in his corner assisting the trainer. David Sr. was ringside and Amy was in the crowd. Davey wins the early rounds, but by round 6, he's struggling.
This is where I just started to get that sinking feeling like...
Amy has watched the footage of the fight many times, but it never gets easier. In the 11th round, with a broken hand, Davey starts unravelling.
Oh.
15 seconds after the round is supposed to have ended, he takes another flurry of heavy blows.
Look at him, he can't even sit down by himself.
As the bell for the start of the final round sounds, Davey is struggling to get back to his feet. His corner is stalling for time.
I knew that he was hurt, but I didn't realise how bad he was hurt. Just got caught up in, you know, he's winning the fight. You know, just that, get through that last round and he's going to be the champion.
The referee pushes Tommy out of the ring and Davey is pulled to the centre. The neurosurgeon who investigated believes by now Davey is concussed. But no one, the ref, his trainer, the doctor, nor ringside officials intervene.
How can it not cross your mind to think, all right, there's something not right here? Why should you have to pull a boxer into the middle of a ring for him to start fighting?
That was an absolutely glaring red light, wasn't it?
Yes.
Should they have realised that Davey wasn't fit enough to go out to round 12?
Yeah, they should have.
So confronting is the final round, we can only show you the first few seconds.
It was like he was just on autopilot, but he couldn't fight anymore. It was just like he was on the street getting beaten up by someone continuously.
What do you now know about that final punch?
That it's highly likely that that was what killed him.
Amy's mum, Heather, an intensive care nurse, was there that night by her daughter's side. In the chaos that follows, she ends up tending to Davey in the ring. There was panic.
Yeah, there was panic. There was a lot of noise. I said, Dave, can you hear me? He answered me once, yes, and then I tried again, I don't know, maybe 10, 20 seconds later, there's nothing.
I just remember the doctor stood up and announced, "We need to get statements. This man is dying." I guess I was in shock. I was just there holding his hand and I just thought, you better be wrong. I just prayed that he was wrong.
Davy Brown suffered a massive brain hemorrhage. This week, the coroner will hand down findings into his death. But what's already clear is that someone in authority should have acted earlier to stop the fight.
I think they got maybe tunnel vision. At the end, there's just one more round to go. And also, no one wanted to be that guy who stopped the fight. of the favourite.
The system broke. And we lost a good boy. People just didn't know their role. Everybody was waiting for somebody else to step in and take control.
For a long time, Davy's brother Tommy couldn't bear to have anything to do with boxing. But he's returned to the ring, dedicating his fights to his brother.
How much do you miss him?
Words can't explain that one. Think about him every day, miss him every day.
What would you like to, if he was still around, is there anything you'd like to say to him?
Yeah. Just tell him how much I love him.
If you ask us, his dad, his brother, anyone who loved him and that was close to him, if we would have done something different that night, our answer is all yes, of course. And when people in the official positions are asked if they would have done something different that night, their answer is no.
We
And
find
that's
that very hard.
Very upsetting.
It's a failure, isn't it?
Huge.